Nintendo released the financial report. In this document, Nintendo explained the current state of the console, the way they want to expand their IPs, as well Nintendo explained how they want to expand their franchise in other crucial markets like China and Brazil. Another important thing to acknowledge is that not only will they expand their company in an organic way, hiring more staff and focusing on employee development, without following the trend of buyouts we have seen with the other companies like Sony and Microsoft. Nintendo wants to reach people outside the gaming ecosystem, making movies, amusement park around the world, and pop-up store near their most important convention, so expanding their reach to a wider audience. To make it clear, this report was written by the current president, Shuntaro Furukawa. Now, let's start with the video. Now, the sales have decreased by at least 34% from the 1st of April to the 3rd of September 2024. This is the first part of the new fiscal year of Nintendo. The console has sold 4 million units, 30% less compared to the previous year, which has sold 6 million. Software sales have gone from 97 million to 70 million, a decrease of 27%. The reason for this is easy to understand in my opinion. The Nintendo Switch is a console in its 8 years of life, having sold more than 140 million units. And those who want to buy a Switch have already bought one. It's normal in this situation, as it's a console at the end of its life cycle. In the report, Nintendo has forecast that they are expecting another decrease of 5.2%. The Switch is the most stable console compared to the previous generation of hardware, probably due to its unique nature and a good amount of the first-party games that have helped its longevity. Now it's time to talk about the current state of the Nintendo Switch. From its release, the console has sold 146 million units and 1.3 billion games. The number is impressive. The Nintendo console has an active player base of 100 million players around the world, with different age groups and preference between younger and older players. The Switch for the firm is a piece of hardware created for all ages. The Nintendo strategy will continue with the support of the third parties and remaster to keep interest high for their player base. And to make it clear, Nintendo wants to keep things stable, releasing new games for at least the next year, because the Switch is a steady business and the next March the console will start its 8 years of service. Third party support is strong, because the Switch is the most popular system around the globe, with a stable player base, and for 2025 there are other titles coming to the Switch from third-party developers, showing how the platform is still healthy. Now, Nintendo wants to expand its relationship with other publishers, but not only that. The strategy is to continue to support Unity and Unreal for the development on the Switch, but I think they will continue with the new system as well. Furthermore, the company wants to improve the way the small developer pay for the dev kit and improve the Nintendo developer portal, streamlining its process. Now, if you look at the publishers, you can also see Microsoft. If I'm not wrong, Microsoft had made a deal with Nintendo to bring Call of Duty on the Nintendo Switch hardware, and with the CEO Satya Nadella, who is talking about a future of Xbox as a publisher like Sega. Nintendo is the complete support for the Japanese gaming industry, and this because Nintendo continue to sell thousands of units every month in Japan. And honestly, I'm surprised to see From Software in the list of publishers. It will be wonderful if they release Armored Core 6 on the Nintendo Switch too. I think a big part of the Nintendo Switch success is the indie titles, and even Nintendo have the same opinion, and for this reason Nintendo wants to keep the indies format for its relationship with their audience. They show how open they are to the indie developers, because the Nintendo Switch, in my opinion, is one of the best consoles to play indie games on, not counting the Steam Deck, and this comes after indie games like Hollow Knight, which has sold 250,000 copies in just 2 weeks on the Nintendo platform, showing how audience taste and preference have started to shift from hyper-realistic games to games with a hand-drawn style and with deep gameplay and design. Another key factor for Nintendo was merging the handheld system to the home console. The reason for this decision is simple. In this way, the developer can swap between their various teams, because now Nintendo has just one platform to develop. To give you an example, both Zelda Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom have seen the cooperation of the Zelda and Monolith teams, and this collaboration has brought great benefits to both teams, with a great improvement in their games. Now, for the first time in the history of Nintendo console games, we have portable series that coexist with home console series, helping the discoverability of new series for their player base. For the company, this coexistence had helped a lot, because the Switch has had one of the strongest first-party lineups, and the public response has been strong. And to add something more, the Nintendo Switch has revitalized the handheld market, because with the Switch success, Valve has decided to make their own console, reopening a market completely ignored by Sony after the PlayStation Vita disaster. And the Switch has followed the way of gameplay instead of graphics, anticipating a change in time where the realistic is not that appealing and winning a larger audience. Nintendo will continue with this strategy of updating games, keeping the public interest in their titles. Another bit of news which makes me happy is the rebirth of series like Pikmin, Xenoblade and Metroid, showing that sometimes to see growth, you must take several good titles and wait for the players to discover them. The main difference is Nintendo has got their player base used to different kind of games. Xenoblade is a JRPG, Kirby is a platform, Metroid is a Metroidvania, even with a FPS style series, and Pikmin is a strategy game. This has helped them sell a lot more games of the series, and the remake of Xenoblade Chronicles X has already bet 1 million views mark on YouTube, showing a high level of interest in the game. These reasons have helped the series grow a lot on the Nintendo Switch, and I hope it will do the same with the other series on the next console. A big part of the Nintendo strategy for the near future is to expand their reach to a new audience through mobile markets, movies, and theme parks. Now, this strategy makes sense because a company must find a new ways to earn money and expand its IP. After the massive success of the Super Mario movie, Nintendo has confirmed the release of the new movie in the Legend of Zelda series. This is not new, thinking about Pokemon, which earn more from merchandising and cards than the main titles. And other companies are doing the same, PlayStation with The Last of Us and Ghost of Tsushima, Microsoft with Halo, and Sega with Sonic and Yakuza. So yeah, it's normal evolution of the industry. Another shocking thing for me is Nintendo Switch Online has the same user base as the Game Pass, at least 34 million players. This caught me completely off guard, because Nintendo is not the best in terms of online services. But thinking about the many titles that have online multiplayer on Switch like Splatoon, Tetris 99, Fortnite and many others, makes sense. But this player base is huge. And talking about the players, in this document, Nintendo has understood a crucial factor. The best way to keep players on your console is to keep their library with them, like Steam and other platforms, because Switch 2 is a backward compatible with the current generation. And this news is the most important one, because Nintendo with its console wants to build up their own unique ecosystem. It's a different strategy compared to Microsoft and Sony, but we will see who wins this competition. Okay, 2024 has not been the best year to be a gamer, but honestly there are so many beautiful games to play. If you have reached the end of the video, thank you very much, hasta la pasta, see you in the next one.